You know, folks, we really do have a lot of good voices on our side right now, and they're out there getting their message to the people and letting their voices be heard. And I think that anytime someone is out there on point with their message, that we need to be amplifying it. That's what I want to do here on the channel. Tim Walz is one who is absolutely spot on these days, and we're going to be looking at some of his clips today of things he's been saying out there because he's got a message that's absolutely resonating with people. And I don't know how true it is, but I have heard reports that when he was on the campaign trail with Kamala Harris, that they had him on a tight leash. They told him to tone it down and stop calling MAGA weird and things like that. I don't know how true it is, but if it's true, it just shows that the Democrats didn't read the room and didn't understand that we're up against one of the biggest bullies in the history of this country. And you can't go high when they go low because they have no bottom. They will continue to go lower, so you have to get in the mud and fight with them. And Tim Walz is one that's willing to do that. But he's also on point with his messaging, and I think a lot of Democrats could really look over at him as a blueprint for how to speak to a crowd and how to get us back on point. Because, yeah, the Democrats did lose the working class. We have to own that. And we have to look at why that we lost them. I think it's truly depressing that we lost them to the biggest grifter ever, a billionaire who never walked down a dirt road in his life, never worked an honest day in his life, never had sweat on his brow, calluses on his hands, does not know what it's like to live the life of ordinary Americans. But he was able to connect and make them think that he had the answer to all their problems, when in reality, we all know where this next administration is headed. We know where he's going with it. We know that his voters are the ones that's actually going to suffer the most. And so we have to be able to bring them back into the fold somehow. We have to be able to make people realize that we do have the working classes, we have their best interests at heart and not the other side. So I'm going to play this clip right here of Tim Walz. I really like this one because he's talking about how that on the Democratic side of the aisle on the left, that we shouldn't demonize people for being successful. That's something that MAGA has done a good job at. They say that we want to punish people for being successful. We don't, and Tim Walz makes a great point in this first clip.
To be successful, we should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that. Pay your tax and do that. And let those young men who see this, now I would argue this, we're creating a false narrative from them that everybody is super rich and has Lamborghinis and life is easy, but that's what we're going to have to figure out in our society about social media and all those things. But I don't think we should be the party that demonizes someone because they're able to afford something or they're able to work hard and got something. What we should demonize is people like Elon Musk and those people that do that. And that's different. That's different.
I think he's spot on right there. There's nothing wrong with being successful, but when you become successful, just don't turn into a greedy prick like Elon Musk and Donald Trump. The thing about MAGA is they have bought into this idea that when you get to the top, that you should absolutely just piss on everyone else and that you should have no regard for the system at all. Remember, Donald Trump said that it was smart that he didn't pay his taxes. So they're a group of people who believes that when you get to the top, you walk over whoever you can to get there, and when you get there, you continue to walk on people. And the Republican idea has always been, and this isn't just something that started with Trump. I want to keep driving this point home. This has been going on for years, folks. My entire life, Republicans' mentality has always been, if I've got what I've got, if I've got mine, then screw you. I don't care about you. Those of us on the left are like, hey, we've got ours and we'd like to see other people do better. They're not that way at all. They want to see people suffer and they want to walk all over people, and it needs to be called out as such. And when they talk about freedom and don't treading on me, they're actually saying, hey, tread on anyone else, just not me. And I love what Tim Walz has to say in this next clip.
If you say you love freedom and you want to restrict that and restrict certain groups, what you don't love freedom, what you love is privilege, and that's a different thing. The only thing many of us question is it malevolence or stupidity that drives them to these, or both?
I do believe that first and foremost it's greed, but I do believe it's also stupidity, because they don't realize that if you go after a certain group of people and you tell the government that it's okay to tread on this group of people, then that same government can tread on you. And that's one of the hardest points that I've ever tried to drive home to people in my part of the world is, hey, I know that you're afraid of the gay or the trans person down the street. I know you're scared to death of that, but it has no effect on you and how you feed your family. So why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you go on about your life, live your life, let them live their life? Because if you allow the government to walk on them, that same government can turn around and walk on you. To me, it's very simple. but MAGA has one of the hardest times I've ever seen understanding a simple point like that. In this next clip, though, I love the way that Tim does not care to go for their throats and hurt their little feelings. And we all saw Elon Musk literally pout. I mean, he literally, tears welled up in his eyes. He pooched his lip out and he pouted. And I honestly, yeah, let's mock the hell out of that fucker. So roll this clip.
I know I'm doing something right when the Fox News crowd is all just bitching at me like crazy, I'm loving it. Or Elon Musk was crying last week. Tim is being mean to me, basically, yay. But I think every time they do a press conference, I've been saying this, we need a shadow government of somebody out there to punch back at them, to punch back.
We absolutely have to punch back, and we can't back down. We have to continue to stand up and punch back at him, and he's right. If Fox News is upset with you and Elon Musk is breaking into tears over you, then you're on the right track. And that's why that I think Tim Walz just needs to keep swinging. Let the Joe Rogans of the world get upset. Let everyone get mad. I don't care anymore, folks. I'm beyond the point of caring about their feelings. I passed that a long, long time ago. I don't care how they react to something. I don't care what they think about what we have to say, because, again, I truly do believe that we're on the right side of history and we have everyone's best interest at heart. So I don't care about this loud, obnoxious bully that wants to just keep rambling on at the world. And if they want to keep fighting their culture wars and get nothing out of it, go for it. And I love what Tim has to say in this next clip. Take a look.
To deliver on this. So if you want to fight social issues, if you want to fight issues on transportation or who the hell uses a bathroom, go fight them. But if you want to fight for veterans, come in here, get behind the right budget, and pass it. That's what we need to do. You earned it. They earned it. We have a responsibility to deliver it. We've done it 6 years in a row. I don't know why we wouldn't do it this year. So you need to demand, before we balance this budget, pass the Veterans Omnibus, get it done, then you can go home unless you want to come back and fight on the other issues. Thank you all. Stand firm on this issue. Let's get it done.
He's right. We have to stand firm on the issues at hand, and we can't back down, folks. And I say, if they want to go ahead and fight their ridiculous culture wars, just let them have it. Let them sit over there and fight with the Bud Light can. Let them sit over there and burn their Carhartts. Let them not go to Starbucks, which they weren't going to start with. Let them go off on all the little crybaby rants they want to go off on, and let's stay focused on the issues at hand, and let's move the conversation forward. And when we have people like Tim Walz out there speaking up and speaking out and making sense, let's highlight that and push that out there, because I've talked here on the channel about just how delusional MAGA is. We see clips every day of his cabinet just sitting there heaping all this praise on him, talking about how wonderful and how great that he is. And then we see him go on Fox News and just sit there and say, oh, this is the greatest time in American history. This was the greatest, most historical day of them all. I'm so proud of this president and where he's come. This has been the greatest 100 days in history. I mean, they just sit there and they lather their bullshit on themselves. They just sit there and just roll in it. And they're completely delusional. They live in a complete alternate reality. So to those out there, I know there's going to be some that's like, well, I don't really prefer Tim Walz. He's not really my cup of tea. I like so-and-so. Hey, that's fine. Like whoever you want to. Vote for whoever you want to. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, this is the guy or whatever. That's not what I'm going with this. Where I'm going with this is that we have to stay focused on the issues at hand. And when someone is speaking up and speaking out and getting the message across, we need to highlight that and amplify it and understand that we're not always going to agree with anyone on anything, on everything. Tim Walz is a great guy. I'm sure there's things that we would disagree on. But there's one thing that I can agree on, and that is that the Trump administration is the greatest threat to our democracy we've ever seen. And so no matter who the nominee is in 2028, I understand that we're not going to get a person who agrees with us on every single issue. But the main issue at hand is defeating this radical right administration. So we have to work to get to the midterms. We have to vote straight down the line Democrat on that one. There's no two sides to this anymore, folks. There's no, well, I think I'll go in the middle here, or I will write in a third party. That stuff died a long time ago. We have to be real and understand that in order to save our democracy, we're going to have to saddle up and we're going to have to vote against that every step of the way. In every single election, vote against it and keep speaking up and keep protesting and don't back down. I know they're sitting out here saying, oh, these protesters were paid. I wasn't paid a dime to go to LA, and I didn't ask for a dime to go. I didn't want it. I was willing to go. I would walk there again for our democracy. So let them sit there and fight their culture wars. Let them sit there and spin this however they want to. But let's stay focused on the issues at hand. We've got good people out there. There's a whole lot of good people that are going out there and drawing crowds. Listen to them and hear out what you like. And if you find a disagreement with them, understand that that's normal. We're not in a cult. We're not going to sit here and agree with Tim Walz or AOC or Bernie or Andy Bashir or whoever, or hell, even throw Gavin Newsom in there. No, I don't agree with him on a lot these days. But yeah, if he's the nominee in 2028, I'm behind him all the way. And so we have to understand what we're up against and understand the seriousness of this situation, this moment that we're in, because folks, we truly are in some dark times. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to bring down the room. I'm just trying to be real. When we got good candidates out there speaking up and speaking on the issues at hand that are resonating with people, let's let their voices be heard and let's amplify them, and let's continue to amplify our voices as well. So I really do appreciate everyone for sticking around with me here on the channel. We've crossed over 700,000 views and we're headed toward 1 million. I do believe we can get there pretty soon. So it doesn't cost anything. It's free to hit the subscribe button. If you ever want to throw a few bucks our way, you can join up for members only here on YouTube, or you can check out our Patreon, which is in the link below. It's in the description. So be sure to check that out. And I appreciate y'all. And I appreciate the voices who are willing to go out there right now and start speaking up. We have to. Because love Trump or hate him, he's never stopped campaigning this entire time. He's never stopped campaigning, and he's been on the wrong side of history every step of the way. We're on the right side of history, so let's keep pushing forward.